there are a number of WWE superstars under contract that WWE are really failing to utilize right now. From a lack of television time to their television time being kept short, these WWE superstars deserve a lot better. Now, with AEW being a successful rival promotion to WWE, WWE superstars have several options when their contract ends, and sometimes the grass is greener on the other side. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 WWE superstars who need to leave right now. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Number 10. Roderick Strong. The Undisputed Era dominated NXT during their initial run, and all 4 members of the stable reached success in their own right. However, after 3 members of the stable left WWE to join All Elite Wrestling, this left the one remaining member, Roderick Strong, in a state of limbo. Since the dissolvement of the Undisputed Era, Strong has been part of the Diamond Mine stable and even had a run as Cruiserweight Champion. Unfortunately, the Cruiserweight title would be unified with the NXT North American title in early January 2022. Now, this meant that the Cruiserweight division was no more. Since then, the talented Strong has struggled to find a meaningful place on the card, and he's even worked the NXT UK shows as he was failing to be utilized on NXT 2.0. It may be in Strong's best interest to leave WWE and join Adam Cole, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly in All Elite Wrestling. Number 9. Shayna Baszler. When Shayna Baszler made her main roster debut in 2020, it was all going so well. She was set for a high-profile match with Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 36, but the main roster fans struggled to connect with Baszler's work. Plans for her to win the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania were immediately scrapped, and she would gradually move down the card. Baszler is now barely featured, and she spent most of her main roster run in a lackluster tag team with Nia Jax. Shayna has so much to offer, and it'd be great to see her utilized in a meaningful manner. If WWE has no set plans to feature Shayna, the two should cut ties. She would definitely be welcomed in various North American-based promotions, and she would add instant legitimacy to any women's division. Number 8. Shelton Benjamin. Since rejoining WWE in 2017, Shelton Benjamin has mainly been used as an enhancement talent. This was until Benjamin joined forces with MVP Bobby Lashley and Cedric Alexander to form the Hurt Business. The stable was universally beloved by fans, and the stable eventually broke up as it was reported that Chairman Vince McMahon wasn't a fan of Shelton and Cedric. Shelton is an incredible talent that is mainly used on WWE Main Event. It's about time that Shelton receives the respect that he's earned, and he's finally treated better in WWE. Shelton will be welcomed in promotions such as AEW and Impact Wrestling, and hopefully they will present him in a manner fitting for the gold standard. Number 7. Cedric Alexander. Speaking of the Hurt Business, Cedric Alexander is a superstar who has so much to offer, but WWE just won't allow him to show it. Cedric was one of the stars at 205 Live, but since he moved to Raw, it's clear that WWE have zero plans to present him as a major player. Even during his days in the Hurt Business, it was clear that he was the weak link in the group, and with Vince McMahon's reported dislike of Cedric, it's unlikely he's ever going to receive a major push, or at least a decent one at that. Unfortunately, it looks like Cedric is going to spend his days chasing around the 24/7 title, a title that he's won 3 times on the main roster. Cedric could add so much value to another company, and it may take Cedric leaving WWE for them to finally see what great potential he had. Number 6. TBar. When news broke that Dominik Dijakovic was going to be called up to the main roster, fans were really excited. Dijakovic was a tremendous pro wrestler, and with his size, he should have been a perfect fit for Vince McMahon's taste. However, WWE decided to put him in a strange mask, change his name to TBar, and put him in the infamous Retribution stable. The stable flopped hard, and once it dissolved, TBar would team up with Mace before beginning a career as a single star on the main roster. It's never been made clear why TBar is still using the horrendous name, and why he's wrestling in a completely different style, but it's an utter waste of an incredible talent. TBar is now defined as an enhancement talent and is predominantly featured on WWE Main Event, aka WWE's Abyss. If he ever appears on Raw, it's to put someone over, and unfortunately, WWE has completely destroyed all credibility he has both as a character and as an in-ring performer. Number 5. Paige. In 2018, Paige announced her retirement from pro wrestling. She had serious neck damage, and it simply wasn't safe for her to continue an in-ring career. Nevertheless, WWE allowed her to continue being an on-air character as the general manager of SmackDown. This was a role that Paige excelled in, and she was a welcome change of pace when it came to the presentation of authority figures on television. Once her stint as GM was over, Paige began to manage Kairi Sane and Asuka on the main roster, but sadly this didn't work out, and the association quickly ended. Paige is still under WWE contract, but she made her last appearance on WWE television in 2020. It's clear that WWE has no idea what to do with a former NXT and Divas champion, and Paige could offer so much value with an on-air presence, even if it's doing something such as managing a brand new female talent. Number 4. Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali is a fantastic pro wrestler. Ali has shown time and time again during his time in WWE that he can work with anyone up and down the roster and have terrific matches with them no matter the circumstances. Ali is insanely frustrated with WWE, and this led him to requesting his release from WWE in early 2022. The release request was outright denied by WWE, and consequently, he hasn't been featured on WWE programming for months. It was reported that Ali and Vince McMahon had a heated argument in relation to Ali's character direction, and Vince wanted Ali to do a storyline which Ali would have never done. It was never explained what the storyline was, but it was rumored to be something tasteless and inappropriate. As WWE without a doubt needs to release Ali and allow him to spread his wings. Ali would be a tremendous addition to any wrestling company, and whichever company eventually ends up with Ali under contract is extremely fortunate. Number 3. Asuka. Asuka is one of the most successful talents to ever step foot in NXT. However, when she debuted on the main roster in 2017, things just felt different, and it was clear that Asuka wouldn't receive the style of booking she received whilst in NXT. WWE have given Asuka a ton of notable wins. She's won the inaugural Women's Royal Rumble and won both the Raw and SmackDown Women's titles, but none of these reigns were remotely memorable. It's obvious that WWE sees how talented Asuka is, and they believe that using Asuka to put over other talent is the way forward. Asuka is a once-in-a-lifetime talent, and she should be given the respect she so rightly deserves. Number 2. Alexa Bliss. Whilst not terrible by any means, her run in NXT didn't exactly light the world on fire. However, when she was abruptly called to the main roster in 2016, Bliss excelled all expectations. Bliss, with her goddess persona, won numerous women's titles, and in turn she became one of the most popular female stars in the entire company. When she was given a supernatural-esque character similar to the Fiend Bray Wyatt, she once again knocked this out of the park, so much so that her merchandise became a major seller for WWE. But for whatever reason, WWE has no plans to use her on television currently. It's unknown why exactly this is, but Bliss has shared her grievances directly to WWE and Vince McMahon, but nothing seems to be changing. Bliss would be a major big-time addition to a rival promotion such as AEW, and with AEW's women's division needing all the help it can get, someone of the caliber of Bliss could make all the difference. And number 1, Finn Balor. It all started so well for the inaugural Universal Champion Finn Balor. When he was called up to the main roster in 2016, WWE had big plans for him, but the injury he suffered at the 2016 SummerSlam pay-per-view changed everything. Balor has received horrendous booking on the main roster, and this eventually led to WWE sending Balor back to NXT in 2019 for a second run on the show. The second run was acclaimed by fans. The run highlighted his in-ring work, but also gave a showcase to Balor's promo and character ability. When Balor reluctantly returned to the main roster, he was treated as a big deal for about a month before he was back to lackluster booking. He would win the US title just before WrestleMania 38, but he wouldn't even be given a match on the WrestleMania match card. He would then lose the title a number of weeks later to Austin Theory, meaning he lost the title in his first defense on television. Balor could be used so much better, but WWE is set on making Balor a mid-card guy who is never going to ascend to winning a world title ever again. But there you have it, folks, 10 WWE Superstars who need to leave right now. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.